Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
Blames lightning for June 5 island-wide outage. Search resumes for team swept away at sea. And later in sports, 19 Jamaicans down to compete in Switzerland.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. JPS says a rare lightning-related fault at its Hunts Bay Substation triggered the island-wide power outage on June 5. The utility company says its investigation, supported by internal experts, found that the lightning-induced fault remained on the grid longer than expected. This created instability that caused generators to trip, leading to the nationwide shutdown. Power was fully restored by 6:34 the following day. JPS says it was a first fault of its kind recorded on the transmission system. The company has submitted its 350-page report to the Office of the Utilities Regulation and the Ministry of Energy. It says it has already begun strengthening protection systems, reviewing network settings, and working with independent power producers. This is due to the risk of a similar incident This is to reduce, the risk of a similar incident in the future. A search for a student who was reportedly swept by the sea off Telfer Beach in Yala St. Thomas resumed this morning and is continuing. The teenager was reported missing on Wednesday after being swept away by strong sea currents. TVJ News understands the boy was among a group of footballers from St. Elizabeth High School. The team was camping in South Haven in Yalas. It was during a trip to the sea sometime between 12 noon and 1 p.m. that tragedy struck. Reports indicate that one of the boys was overcome by a heavy current and pulled under. His name has not yet been released. Persons are now anxiously awaiting the JDF and Marine Police as they continue the search along the Yalas coastline. And the St. Thomas Police Division is reporting a reduction in major crimes so far this year. This is when compared with the same period last year.
But we have a 35% reduction in murders, and most categories of major crimes are down, and myself was really a part of the police growing up. And we believe that it remains a very positive and vibrant strategy of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Meanwhile, head of the Morant Bay Police Division, DSP Rowan Ritchie, says the Morant Bay Police Station has achieved ISO certification, bringing its operations in line with internationally recognized standards.
With investigation services, community intervention, reports in terms of police certificates, and emergency response to assignments given to the station, call for services.
Councillor for the Alligator Pond Division, Omar Robinson, is calling for additional police units to patrol the New Forest area. Speaking at Manchester Municipal Corporation monthly meeting recently, Mr. Robinson says thieves have been using the cover of dark to steal goats, leaving livestock farmers in the seaside community broke and worried.
We are advocating for another unit for the Alligator Pond Station. And even for Cross Keys, they're having challenges with units coming to support us. You know the situation, because when there is court and that unit is out of the space, we don't know what is being planned for the division. So it would be wise to have at least 2 on the ground for the Alligator Pond Station.
And news just in, the search for a student who reportedly swept away by sea off Telfer Beach in Yala St. Thomas has been found. His body has been found. And of course, we will have more on this story in Primetime News at 7. Now, food safety checks are intensifying in St. James as health officials strengthen efforts to protect consumers and address community concerns. Councillors are being urged to join the push to tackle the issues. In June, public health inspectors carried out inspections of imported containers carrying meat, fish, and other food products. Inspections increased compared with the previous reporting period, reflecting continued efforts to strengthen food safety and protect public health.
With respect to meat hygiene, animals slaughtered, 680, so that's your porcine, ovine, aka pigs, goat, etc. With respect to poultry, 850. For imported meat, fish, and other foods, 155 containers were inspected this reporting period, an increase from last month's 125.
The Public Health Department says community engagement remains a key priority across the parish.
So AD's index, 12.6. With respect to AD's index, we need to assist with strengthening this index. We can do this by strengthened community participation. Each person needs to play their role. Everyone in here has a role to play. Increase public education on proper water storage, solid waste management, and household source reduction practices. Greater collaboration with community groups, and of course, continued engagement of householders to encourage personal responsibility.
Public health officials are urging stronger collaboration among community leaders, health teams, and residents as efforts continue to address environmental health concerns across St. James.
Community engagement and environmental health interventions. Community meetings were held at the Barrettstown Health Center in July and at the United Full Gospel Church also in July. These meetings were led by intern public health inspectors in collaboration with St. James Public Health Services and aimed at engaging residents in identifying priority environmental health issues and developing community-based interventions to address the concerns identified.
We now take a break. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Deputy Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, Lorraine Dobson, says the KSAMC has engaged 140 businesses across 8 commercial districts within the municipality as part of its ongoing outreach efforts. Dobson says the municipality has also recorded an increase in revenue from signs and billboards, which she says attributes to a sustained public education campaign.
The response has been extremely positive. Overall compliance among the businesses visited increased from 9% before the visit to 53% following the intervention, while approximately 3.96 million was collected in signage fees. The corporation will continue these outstation engagements across Kingston and St. Andrew as part of our ongoing commitment to making the compliance process more accessible, while continuing to encourage all entities with public visible signs to regularize their signage and remain compliant.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Caribbean Cream has returned to profitability in the first quarter of its financial year, posting a pre-tax profit of $59.5 million. This compares with a pre-tax loss of $18.2 million in the corresponding period last year. The company, which manufactures creamy ice cream, reported gross operating revenue of $884.3 million, up 10% from a year ago. The company also acknowledged support from CIBC Caribbean Bank, which granted a temporary moratorium on principal loan repayments following the disruption caused by Hurricane Melissa last year. For Further afield, the United States is set to start imposing a 25% tariff on certain Brazilian imports. This move comes following a year-long probe that determined the country took part in unfair trade practices. According to the U.S. Representative James Winkler, policies from Brazil hurt American interest in various areas, including digital trade and ethanol market access. The tariffs are scheduled to go in effect on July 22nd. Greer says the U.S. is open to continuing talks with Brazil in order to potentially resolve the differences. The U.S. goods trade surplus with Brazil was nearly $14.5 billion in 2025. That was up 113% compared to the year before. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Antonia Atkinson.
Thank you, Antonia. We now have the top stories from around the world.
In the region, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown says Caribbean unity was weakened after at least one regional leader independently signed an agreement with the United States on the proposed transfer of third country nationals. Speaking in Parliament, Brown said a coordinated CARICOM response would have strengthened the region's bargaining power. He added that Antigua and Barbuda will continue engaging the U.S. while protecting its national interests and following parliamentary safeguards. And on the international scene, people across parts of Canada and the United States are facing unhealthy air quality as wildfire smoke combines with intense heat. Ontario remains under air quality alerts, with thick smoke blanketing Toronto and reducing visibility. The smoke has also spread into the United States, Great Lakes, and Northeast, prompting air quality warnings in states including New York and Massachusetts. Health officials are urging people, especially those with asthma or other respiratory illnesses, to limit outdoor activities. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aaliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Alia. We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.